Good morning. This is Carlos, the running jackal, on Mount Doug, once again running around the back of the mountain, trying to avoid some of the big hills. There is some kind of event going on here today. I see some marking. I'm not sure if it's a running or a orienteering. Running or a orienteering. Yeah, well, that's where the marking have a turnaround. Maybe it's just a training group. Maybe it's just a training group. Who knows? I'm heading along the border of Mount Doug Park. Getting through a little bit of a swampy section here. Getting my thoughts in order for today's exciting episode. So I'm in zone 3 and the arrows go this way too, so I might well find people either running past me or me running towards a group of runners. Not sure who did the marking, but it looks pretty convoluted. Did the marking, but it looks pretty convoluted. Already I've been on the official course, going on in the opposite direction on the official course, and off the official course. So I'm not sure what's going on. Talking of official courses, I am proud to announce that I will be sweeping the longer event in the another break in the Paul Adventure Trail Run in East Sioux Park. Trail Run in East Sioux Park. I was out yesterday with Alana and her dad, Randy Jones, basically checking the route, checking the course for treacherous windfall and what have you. But as it was, there was very little danger, just a lot of elevation change, a lot of upping and downing. But for anybody who's run a trail race recently, I guess that would be par for the course. There was a time when trail runs were on gravel trails around lakes. That was a trail run. But then they started hitting the mountains and running the mountain bike trails. So people had to get into the idea of a fair amount of hiking during their event. So we marked it out. We didn't put any flagging up because the race is on March the 10th. It's the day that the clocks change. So that's going to be a little bit annoying if people show up at the wrong time. But I will be there early as usual. I think Randy's going to get there around 7 on the day. but he has a lot of setup to do. Just saw another arrow, a chalk arrow, excuse me, and a cross. The two women behind me are not really gaining on me, so they're probably hiking the same treacherous sections that I'm hiking. I'm right on the barbed wire fence now, running the fence line. Oh, it's Sarah again. Alright, so we're going to have some company at one stage of this run, which is fine. I think they'll probably figure out pretty soon that I'm recording my show. Oops. Bit of an unavoidable wet shoe situation there. Now I have a wet shoe now, and I'm in zone 3. I think they want to talk to each other, not necessarily with us. But there is a route choice coming up, and I'll see which way they turn. I'm getting close to my little secret turn-off. Past this blowdown, under the roots, through the mud. Up and back on the arrowed course.
Zone 4.
This is where I go to the left. I think they're coming this way too. Maybe not. I'll see them later. All these roads, all these trails end up on Whitaker, going through the saddle. We're going to hear a halfway to my goal message quite soon, but I figured that I start the recording a little bit before the half and end it a little bit before the end, because the last bit, even though it takes me all the way home, will be on sidewalk, and who knows what traffic noise we'll be hearing there. So Sarah and her friend are taking an even wider loop at this mountain. Just let them know where I am. It's always good when you know there's people in the park to let them know where you are. I will be yelping a fair bit at the race, just so I can announce where the tail end of the run is. Because as Sweet Runner, I will be following the pack, and because there is a lot of hiking I will probably be hiking behind the same people for a fair amount of time. So rather than bore them with my endless chatter, I will unflag the 10k course as I pass the later flagging sections. Hopefully there won't be too much flagging. I will be taking my empty backpack to stow the ribbons, the pink ribbons and the clipped pink ribbons. I'm pretty sure I'm still in zone 3, not having cooled off from my running. My heart rate is still in that zone. Once again, I'm seeing arrows. Maybe I should call this episode Seeing Arrows.
Time 35 minutes. Average heart rate 141. Workout average pace 7 minutes 55 seconds per kilometer.
So there you go. There are the stats. 35 minutes. One more minute and we'll have 36 to go. But as I alluded to earlier, I have already started this recording. So I will end it as I exit at Glendenning, heading towards home. I'll take a little peek just before I leave the park to decide if I'm going to do an additional loop. Alright, so my secret path was marked as a no-go. So the rest of the people will be sent on the lower trail. I'm just cutting across to Whitaker up here.
Halfway to your goal.
And I'm pretty sure I'll be back on the arrowed course very shortly. I haven't seen anybody wearing a bib number. Hello. Hi. Hello, doggy. Up over the elephant. Another no-go marking. Hello. This hiker guy is pretty fast. Him and his dog are beating me. I'm gonna go buy the dog now. No, the dog is still ahead. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm slightly faster than you on the running sections. Yep, he's keeping his dog back a little bit. You know what? That's his problem, not mine. Unless the dog bites me. That wouldn't be nice. I think I can hear Sarah. Yo! Yep. She's on a lower trail. She's about 50 meters below me. But we'll hook up pretty soon. I guarantee it. There's nowhere to go. They join. The trails will join. I can still hear them yakking down there. That's what we used to call the G Trail. Excuse me. The guy's catching up with me again. Every time there's a hike, he gains on me because he's a good hiker. And every time there's a bit of a running section, I gain on him.
From CBC News, The World This Hour, I'm Kenny Sharp. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has fired Canada's ambassador to China. Trudeau has asked John McCallum to step down. It came after McCallum made at least 2 rounds of public statements about the ongoing extradition case of Chinese Huawei telecom executive
Average heart rate
Wang Zhou.
139. Work out average
Said
pace
Wang
8
had good
minutes
case to
19
fight
seconds
their
per kilometer.
extradition to the U.S. Trudeau not offering
Yep, Sarah's behind me now.
exactly, which comes in the middle of that diplomatic dispute with China. It's all happening as well as the development as Parliament getting set to resume tomorrow for one of the last sessions before the federal election. And the Conservatives are using this weekend to get a head start. CBC's Catherine Tunney with those details.
It's still months before Canadians hit the polls, but it's already beginning to feel like full campaign mode. The Conservative caucus has been pulled up in Ottawa for 3 days this weekend, a chance to firm up their plan to oust the
Well, I'm glad that
Deputy Party
Sarah
Leader
and her
Ray
friend
says
are
they're ready
hanging
and they're
with me
from our constituents.
at this kind of
It's,
pace.
a bit of a level of anxiety. You know,
I
they're
will
taking
know
a
in
look at
future
what's going on
if
in their
they're
lives,
running,
and they're seeing that
whether I
they
can
are
hang with them or
getting
not.
more of the things they need. Besides the economy, the official opposition is already
Hello.
trying to carbon tax and border concerns into election.
Just coming up on the saddle now. I saw that guy the other day in almost exactly the same spot. So through the jaws of the saddle, between the heads of the vice, as I snake my way through the chicane, I'm back on the marked trails again.
Consider the temporary nature of much oil sands work. He's with the Oil Sands Community Alliance. You can't force people to live anywhere. Rafi Bucani on CBC News, Edmonton. Internationally, another dam in Brazil could be close to bursting. Evacuation orders are in place nearby to where a dam has already given way Friday. Rescue teams keep searching for survivors of that tailings dam collapse. The dam is owned by the mining company Vale, and it's been 3 days since a tsunami of red muddy sludge, made up of byproduct from mining operations and the flooded land, inundated areas below and downstream. More than 30 bodies have been recovered from the disaster that happened near Brumadinho in the south of Brazil. The courts have also frozen about $3.8 billion in Vale's assets to pay for the fallout. The leader of Hezbollah is giving Israel a stark warning today. Hassan Nasrallah says if Israel does not stop its airstrikes on Syria, Hezbollah is getting ready to retaliate. Rebecca Caller reports.
In a televised interview in Lebanon, Hezbollah's leader Hassan Nasrallah says a blunt strikes on Syria and has become increasingly open about its campaign. Rebecca Collard, CBC News, Jerusalem.
Novak Djokovic has taken this year's Australian Open title, defeating Rafael Nadal in the final at Melbourne Park today. In the end, Djokovic overwhelmed Nadal 6-3, 6-2, 6-3 for his record.
So through the jaws of the sun, between the heads of the vice, as I snake my way through the chicane. I'm back on the marked trails again. Must be a trail running group. Maybe Mike Saminsky has brought his troop of trail runners here. But mind you, he doesn't normally mark the trail. This is a little more organized. Hello. Any idea what all these markings are about?
Yeah, it's just a group out running.
Is it orienteering or is it
No, just running.
trail runners?
We're just doing a 14-kilometer double loop around the park.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've been seeing arrows, but sometimes I'm going the same way, and other times they're coming towards me. I think,
Yeah.
well, this is a pretty convoluted trail, then.
Yeah, we've just kind of marked it and down out around the perimeter of the park,
Okay.
and then we go around all the way to the north end,
Uh-huh.
and then we came back, and we're going back to the north end, and then out to the beach parking lot.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where I started. Hi again. Have a good run. Yeah, they're doing a two-looper. Lots of people here today.
I noticed that too, Carlos. You know what? We are starting later than we normally do.
Yeah. Well, I live so close that I figured, I could start whenever I want. I could be done by noon. Anyway, I'll see you a bit later. Hello, coming through.
Good morning.
Hi. Yeah. So I'm now running downhill, heading towards the glory zone. I think Sarah's taken her friend on the up choice. They obviously want to chat. Hello. Well, we'll meet up again at the top of Glendenning, at the top of the glory zone. Zone 3 is where I want to be. So, any of the local listeners, if you're interested, the race is in East Zouk Park. It starts at 9 o'clock, the new time, and it'll all be done by 12. East Zouk Park is about 25 kilometers out from Victoria. 29. So I'm heading up to the crest of the glory zone. Hello, dog. Hi. Yep. This is good. And down. The main drag. Down Glendenning and out through Harvest Lane. That's where I'll check my timing. I might have a few more minutes to do, but that's okay. I try and keep my show, as you know, to 36 minutes. Down, down, down into the valley. Hello. Good dog. If I started the recording 10 minutes earlier, then I can finish it 10 minutes before I get to home. Because I'm pretty good at guesstimating what 10 minutes from home is like. Hi. A couple of young lovers holding hands. Below zone. So I hope today's episode has been somewhat entertaining for you, reminiscent of so many others I have done over the past 6 or 7 years. I am so glad that I didn't start numbering my episodes or dating them. It makes it so much easier in hindsight when I'm deleting stuff at the top end or the bottom end and putting up more material all the time. I mean, most of my shows are, I would say, 99% like this. Not all of them. Sometimes I get to run from start to finish with somebody to talk to. Because the soliloquy is okay, but it doesn't really give you a chance to answer back to my comments or to introduce your own topics of conversation. But hopefully I have spread the word for the another Brick in the Poll extraordinary event on March the 10th in East Soup Park, brought to you by the unmatched directorial team of Randy and Alana Jones. This is roughly where I'm going to check on my timing so far as I get out of the park and reach the asphalt of Harvest Lane. So, having checked my timer, I now have 10 minutes to talk to you. The last 10 is always the most challenging. There's often stuff that I wanted to say that I forget to say. This is my time to figure out what it is that I have to remind you about. I've already reminded you of the race. For those of you who have transportation to get yourself here to Victoria, BC, quite unique trail adventure is guaranteed, either 5 or longer. This year the 10K is going to be very much closer to 10 than it was last year. Last year was the inaugural. So now that everybody runs with GPS equipment, I think it might be safer for next year just to call it The short course approximately 5k and the long course approximately 10. I guess people would rather a course be long than short. If they run a short course and it gives them this sense of running a lot quicker than they normally do, that's not the best way to deal with it. I think it's just better to say that the long course is about 10k, and to compare it with road running, I would say add another hour to your time for a flat road run. So if you can run a 10k in under an hour, you'll be running the long course in about an hour and 50, something like that. There are some very steep sections to climb. As I cross Shelbourne Street, I will meditate for a little while. Hello. Hi. So it's about the time when I should be fumbling through my fanny pack looking for my outro cassette. It's in here somewhere. In with the energy bars, my wallet, my camera. Oh, that reminds me. I don't know if I've taken a picture yet with my camera. I don't like bringing something out and then not using it. So I'm almost obliged to take a couple of pictures here while I have a chance. So this first one will be Mount Douglas in the distance. Let me just cross the street to get a better view of the mountain. Yeah. And San Juan Avenue going up to my house is up that way. Now I'll put my equipment away, finish my little meditation, and basically slap the cassette in the player try and get my glove on. It's nothing harder than getting a tight glove on a sweaty hand. Alright, so on goes the music. And in about 46 seconds to be precise, the show will end as abruptly as it started. So this is the running jackal signing off from his weekend show, running the last 500 meters to home. Bye-bye.